Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Spence, TSPN TV News Desk, and I'm here with special guest Jim McHargue. I'm going to pronounce that correctly. You are the Solid Waste Programs Manager, and there's a community development agency that is
the umbrella
agency. Yeah. And then you handle all of that solid waste programming and all of the garbage rates and everything that has to do
recycling, all of it.
As people can see, I brought you out a glass of water, Jim, but you kept your plastic bottle. You're
That's
definitely
right.
a recycler. You have good behavioral patterns, I can tell.
That's right.
We have a news portion of the story. This is the news desk, so we normally cover what's going on here in Amador County, where we live. And on July 1st, the garbage rates will go through another change. This is when the next change is implemented.
Annual adjustment.
Yeah. And what is that change going to be?
Well, actually, I'm really pleased to be here and to be able to announce that for the second year in a row, garbage rates are going to go down. They're going to be decreased for county customers that subscribe to garbage service from ACE's Waste Services, the garbage company. So second year in a row, garbage rates are going down. I mean, in this day and age when seems like everything's continually going up, it really is kind of a pleasure to be able to bring that news.
Well, yeah, there are very few cases. We have all these rate-paying groups, and they're always watching these rates, and they're always worried about them going up for one area or another. I wish we could all get along as one big county and have parity and have one uniform rate for everything and have everybody pay the same rate. But it seems like each district and each area has their own rates and their own reasoning behind that. And you have an amazing, you brought a great spreadsheet, and we want to kind of go through some of the ideas that go into analyzing, what the rate's about. Even though it is going down, it's great to know that you've been in there and you work with our supervisors, and now you put a proposal for the supervisors to review, and then
that's right.
Then the county decides ultimately, the supervisors decide ultimately what that rate's going to be.
That's correct. And the county board of supervisors has the authority here locally to set garbage rates for all the county unincorporated areas. So the cities are separate. The 5 cities act independently, and they set their garbage rates independently of the county, although many of the cities do have a similar type system that they use. But yeah, every year, once a year, we go through what we call rate adjustment analysis and evaluation, and we have a really I would say a systematic and a detailed approach to looking at and evaluating garbage rates so that we can assure the garbage rate customers, the rate payers, are getting the best rate possible. And so we go through that process every year. We just completed the process. We took the outcome of it to the Board of Supervisors at the beginning of this month, and the board unanimously voted to implement the recommended rate adjustments, which again happen to be rate reductions.
Right.
So garbage rates are going down for all of the county customers.
You keep hearing all rates are going up, all rates are going up, and so that is an unusual.
It is.
You're busting the myth here.
That's right.
You're probably the only one in the county, because we have, of course, water issues and other rate issues that are in the news and have been in the news here lately. I know Alan has this spreadsheet. Let's take a look at that. I see right in the top area. It's probably hard for our viewers to see, but you have a number of different categories that you have oversight and you have programs and
this looks at this looks in general terms kind of what my responsibilities are, and in general terms I have responsibility for the landfill. Now the landfill's closed, but of course ongoing monitoring, maintenance, and reporting is required by state law. So the landfill, even though we're not bearing waste in this county, it continues to be something that has to be very carefully monitored and tested and for environmental, in compliance with environmental regulations. So that's a big part of what I do. The other part of what I do, I call it AB 939 programs, because that's the statutory law, but that's the recycling programs. I do a lot of school programs. I do a lot of community outreach. We recently had the Clean It, Green It. You may have
Right, that was a good
remembered that
event,
with
yeah.
the city
Mhm,
of
mhm.
Jackson.
Yeah, it was a good event.
I do grants. I do a number of different programs in the recycling kind of section of my responsibilities. And then I also do the household hazardous waste and special waste programs. And that's the facility down at Buena Vista Road where we collect household hazardous waste from residents.
So people can bring, that's where should be bringing their paints and their pharmaceuticals and sharp objects and
That's
different
right.
types of things.
Everything that's not allowed to go into the waste stream. I would like folks to, if they have any questions ever, please feel free to give me a call at the office. It's 223-6429, and I'll be happy to answer questions. But we want to make sure we keep that stuff out of the garbage.
Let me back up just a second.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar, Jim, where the waste goes in terms of the actual landfill. Do we have one major landfill here in Amador County? Or are
We
there
do,
several?
down on Buena Vista Road,
Okay.
and it's just south of Highway 88, about a mile and a half down, is the Buena Vista Landfill Transfer Station.
So that's the main one. for
That's the
whole
main
county.
one. Now that's, again, a closed landfill. So there's no more, as of 2004, we closed the landfill operations. However, it still continues to operate as a solid waste transfer station. And that's where ACE's Waste Services has their transfer business, their collection trucks, their offices. ACE's occupies an area of the landfill property down there from the county, and that's where they operate. Now, we also have a second transfer station up in Pine Grove.
Right.
And
That's the one I use.
that's the solid waste transfer station in Pine Grove. So essentially everything, though, from Pine Grove gets brought down to Buena Vista Transfer Station, gets consolidated, processed. There's a lot of recycling and recovery that takes place down there. You know, wood materials are taken out, metal materials are taken out of the waste, and then once all that's been accomplished, it gets put onto trucks and it gets trucked to Sacramento County to Kiefer landfill.
Oh, okay.
And that's where it goes to the landfill.
So it does get sorted out, you know, when I go to the dumps, and I've been going to the one in
Yeah.
Pine Grove I call it the dumps.
Yeah.
There's probably a better word
Sure.
for it.
It's a sanitary, waste transfer.
disposal
Yeah,
plant
yeah.
transfer station. When I go to the dumps, I always see, as most people do, you know, there's a nice piece of wood there, or there's something that could be recycled, and of course you can't throw it into your truck. And you know, in the old days, you could actually pick some things up and take some things home with you. You probably dumped more things than you took home, but you always took something home with you.
That's right.
And that was one way of keeping that stuff out of the landfill. But now you really can't take any of those objects. So it's nice to know they are being sorted. You know, all that wood and stuff is ultimately being sorted somewhere. It doesn't not everything goes directly to the landfill when you see it at the dumps.
Oh, no, and state law, and again, that's Assembly Bill 939, that's the 50% diversion requirement. So half of all the waste generated in a county or city by law has to be recycled or diverted from landfill disposal. So a lot of what we do does occur at either Pine Grove Transfer Station or the Buena Vista Transfer Station. And, you know, when especially because we have to truck all of our waste to Kiefer, Sacramento County for disposal, that makes recycling all the more important, because the more we can do to reduce the amount of waste we're sending, the less cost and the less impact it's going to have on the customers.
Right. You know, you mentioned ACEs. We're going to probably go to a break shortly, but you mentioned ACEs, you know, and they take a lot of the heat when the people think of rate increases and things like that.
Sure.
How does your relationship work with ACEs?
Well, ACEs is the exclusive franchise waste hauler for Amador County, and ACEs is a local company. It's owned by folks that live here and have been here for, I think, probably 30 or more years or longer. They have operated extremely well. We have used other garbage companies in the past from businesses, large national companies, and we've had problems because they haven't had the investment and the interest in really providing the services that we as a county want. ACEs, on the other hand, has been really good about providing
They've
that.
obviously been a great company.
So yeah, they do take a lot of heat when garbage rates go up, but I think they should also get some consideration because they're the main reason why these garbage rates are going down. ACES has configured their operations such that they've improved their efficiencies, and they improved their, their routing and their collection and all the things that go into providing garbage service, such that we find ourselves again in a situation where we're able to reduce rates.
Yeah, well, they also have to retrofit trucks and buy new equipment, new trucks, and there are always costs. I'm sure they'd like to see costs go up a little bit, and so there's probably a pressure going both ways between the county and the ACES and the supervisors and everybody working together.
That's right.
To try to keep a lid on those costs.
Yeah, and we do, you're right, there's a lot of regulation. There's a lot of state regulation. I mean, let's face it, we live in California, right? So there's a lot of regulation regarding the diesel exhaust fumes and I mean, just everything you can think of.
Everything adds up.
And so the ACES is under a lot of pressure to comply with that. However, all those costs are factored into our annual evaluation, and when we look at it, we make sure that they recover those costs and that they are, achieving some level of profitability, and then we implement the rate adjustments.
Great, pretty informative.
Yeah.
We're going to go to a break, and please stay tuned. We're going to come right back with Jim McHargue,
Good.
Solid Waste Programs Manager.
That's right.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about what's going on here in Amador County when it comes to disposal waste.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.